I will be presenting briefly based on what are the technologies which are developed in various parts, including mainly from IHR, and to make them feasible as a integrated management practices, these technologies have to be fine-tuned. Technologies as such cannot be implemented in the farmers field. So most of the things what I will be talking will be in the perspective of feasibility to the farmers and economic viability. These things have to be kept in mind. Next slide, please. See, as an integrated strategies for improving any crop, I am telling on chili, it works good for majority of the vegetable crops. We should keep all these points in view. We have heard a lot of things about the genetic improvement varieties as number one option. While selection of any crop, farmers should think, how is the performance? Always don't depend upon the universities or ICR institutes for its performance. If you know the crop is good, put on a small acreage, test it with the existing variety what you are growing. If you see there is improvement, definitely go for that variety. Then adopt all the remaining integrated management practices for improving the productivity and maintaining the quality. Because people are becoming more and more quality conscious, because more than 60% of the population will be urban, who eat most of the vegetables which are coming from the rural market. So one has to bear in mind what they use, technologies should be useful and the quality produce should reach the market. One is already there is a point, seed and seedlings are the utmost importance. They are just like as you sow, so you reap. So if you plant a good seedling and maintain it further in a good condition, you will realize the potential for which that particular variety or hybrid has been bred. Next is the always for sustaining soil health, which is neglected tremendously for last several decades with the invention of chemical-oriented agriculture in the Western world, which we introduced here, and it was not properly handled. So we have to go for good agriculture practices. I will be touching all these aspects in one or two points in a simple way and try to finish it as early as possible. Then integrated water and nutrient management, utmost important. If you take any crop, the best response for increased improvement in yield will be after the variety. It is number one is water, the second one is nutrient. I always tell to the farmers, think crop as your children. How do you bring up them in a good this one? Same treatment you have to apply for the crops, then only they will respond. Don't neglect any aspect. Then integrated, appropriate, because chili still about 90% of the dry chili grown is under rain-fed condition in India. That's one of the reasons why in Guntur area chili productivity is high is the G4, G5 varieties are grown majority on irrigated condition and the soils are highly productive. That's one of the reasons. So I will touch briefly what technologies we can adopt for rain-fed condition when water shortage is there, when rainfall is excess. Simple techniques. Then precision farming. Don't go by the word precision farming, what Western people are precise. What I mean simple precision technology for Indian context is precisely apply the inputs recommended from the institute or university based on your soil test results, what you get analyzed. Next slide, please. We will go briefly to, so these are the general principles for good soil management, which is neglected, is very important. Crop residue management is important. Animal and green manures play a crucial role. Then legumes play always. One of the items we suggest is don't keep the crop field any empty. Try to maintain the crop. If continuous annual crops are not feasible, at least maintain barrier crops or boundary crops always around and maintain the good microclimatic conditions prevalent in a particular field. Then integrated IPM, IDM, IWM. These have been already discussed. Only weed management, one or 2 points I will discuss because disease and pest already we a lot of this one. Biocontrol and biofertilizers. Any technology you try to adopt, always integrate, make them as bio-intensive than chemical intensive. Then only sustainability is feasible. Only chemical applications, certainly within a few years you will land up in trouble and also pollute the environment. It has to be borne in mind. Then always one of the simple techniques I tell is, any form of nutrient, always my advice to the farmers is, at least 1/3 of the recommended nutrient requirement of crop should go through organic sources. Then only the crops will not face any deficiency of micro and secondary nutrients, and also soil microflora, microbiome, that will be taken care. Soil health is very important. One has to bear in mind, soil is a living entity just like plants. So we should maintain the health in a good condition. Then the variety and crop rotation already I told. Next slide, please. So one nursery raising, I will not discuss this one. It is very important. At the time of sowing or planting, either seed or seedling has to be healthy. Then the precautions have to be taken for further how to maintain them. Next, please. There are many bio agents, biopesticides and biofertilizers are a must, whether it is for nursery raising or for crop growing. We have a simple technology. There is no time to discuss individually each one of them one. If you have any doubt, you can drop that or you can discuss during lunch time. Anytime I am available, you can discuss this point. Nursery raising, I always tell, you don't depend on the mechanized big nurseries. Even farmers spends 4,000 to 5,000 rupees. We have standardized the practice by which they can raise 1 acre sufficient seedlings of any vegetable crops required for cultivation. Next, please. Next. So seedling raising is very important because the establishment of the crops. One of the neglected points from the farmers is, if chili is recommended 12 to 16,000 plants per acre, one of the main components for reducing yield is not maintaining the recommended density of plants per acre. They lose 10%, 15%, no. It should not be allowed. I have seen in some countries where even one single seed, they don't want to waste it because they have become very expensive. So if you plant 12,000, all 12,000 should come to reproductive stage and the yield. Then only you can realize the yield. Next, please. So one of the things is optimum plant. That's how I have seen. What recommended, you maintain them. Whatever we grow, single row, double row, with polythene or without polythene, or under fertigation, or under soil applied nutrient management. This is one of the basic points. Next, please. Weed management is very important because weeds are a highly competitive, especially rain-fed chili. You should see that the first 60 days, the crop has to be free because that is the period when which the plants take up their 80% of the nutrient requirement and the maximum growth potential will reach by the days it is around 60 to 70 days. By that time, crop canopy should cover the entire field after transplanting. So including 30-35 days old seedlings, by 85 to 90 days, the crop canopy should be full so the weeds don't grow. Next, please. Good soil management practices, I will touch only the points. Next, please. One is, the ideal soils for chili are well drained. Always soil drainage is very important, whether for excess rainfall or making the roots to respire very nicely, then only they can take the nutrients and water very efficiently. This should be kept in mind. Always there are some standards which has to be maintained in the soil. In the analysis they will do what is the optimum CN ratio. One of the crux of the problems in tropical countries is how to maintain the organic carbon content. The organic matter has to be around 0.7 to 0.8 minimum if you want to realize the good potential for the hybrids for which it has been bred. So usually analysis of carbon is easy. So 0.6 is the ratio for converting carbon to organic matter. If it is 0.6 means it is 1% organic matter in the soil. This is a very simple technology. pH range ideal for this is 6.5 to 7 or 7.5, which is why important is according to pH, though the recommendations are there for the recommended NPK per acre, they are to be modified according to the soil pH requirement. If low pH, what fertilizers, and for high saline or high pH soils, what fertilizers, they are different. They have to be fine-tuned. This is what we call the precision farming technology, which we can use in our context. Next, please. So one of the recommendations what we make is flat blade system of planting has to be overcome. Always go for raised bed or adjacent furrow. Whenever you make the furrows, you take care to the farmers to maintain 2 to 3% of slope. Absolutely, there won't be any water stagnation in the field. 2 to 3% slope is very simple thing. Every 100 feet length of the farm, there should be 2 to 3 feet fall in the elevation. This is what a simple technology. So any amount of rainfall or excess water, it will flow to the end, make a big furrow, take it to the water where you can re-harvest and use it again. Because water is going to be, even now, it's a very precious input for any cropping, for any crop in India. Next, please. So always when we say anything you follow, either nutrient management has to be integrated. So use all possible organic manures and recommended NPK fertilizers together. The ratios are there, how to enrich them and how to make them available. When I say chemical integrated management means always don't depend on the soil application. If soil moisture is not sufficient, if rainfall is deficit in a particular season, there is a best option for going for foliar nutrition. For rain-fed, this one, 3 to 4 sprays we have standardized, which are very effective in boosting the productivity by 15 to 20% very easily. Next, please. So one of the things always I say, soil organic matter is most, and how to enrich it, one should know. There are simple steps for that. Next, please. So we have standardized how different organic matter components, I am not going to discuss each point, it plays a very crucial role. So always I stress on this point. Next, please. So I&M principles are always complementary application. No single technology is going to give the productivity what we want. They have to be all combined. Chemical fertilizers, organic manures, green manures, biofertilizers, foliar nutritions, and the enrichment of compost and vermicompost. Very simple technology by which we can almost double or triple the nitrogen content, especially, which is the most dynamic element, and mostly we face a lot of problems. In conjunction with rain-fed situation, in situ water conservation, there is a simple technology called tide ridge. When you make ridges and furrows, every 20 and 30 feet, put a cross bunt. So under deficit rainfall of semi-arid conditions, because of a good chili crop, during its season of 180 days, around 600 mm of rainfall is very essential. So out of this, 80% should be made available to the crop. Then only chili will be a successful crop, and it should coincide with the most critical stages, what we call seedling stage, fruit development, and at the time of fruit set, if there is a dryness, the fruit set will not be good. You have to coincide these things. Next, please. So these are the standards are there. What is the NPK and micro and secondary nutrients which are important in chili, and what is the optimum at the stage of flowering? Because at the stage of flowering, if the required recommended optimum nutrient contents are there in the plant, it is going to produce the desirable yield. Next, please. Next. Yeah, this is based on the soil analysis. Farmers ask how much fertilizers we have to ask. All university recommendations of package of practices are for a medium fertility soils. But when the soils are low, or when the soils are rich in available nutrients, what amount of recommended fertilizers have to be used by the farmers? Because fertilizers is a very one of the inputs where we can reduce the cost of the fertilizers. This has to be kept in mind. Next, please. So the organic nutrient management, I have stressed what are the crop rotation, crop biodiversity, use of natural minerals. If the soils is acid, just like in coastal line, rock phosphate is one of the best options along with the phosphate solubilizing bacteria. You need not go for single superphosphate. Because phosphorus, one of the plus points is it is not leached like nitrogen and potassium. Always what you apply, within 48 to 72 hours, it gets fixed in the soil. Next, please. So we have made a simple technology for how the enrichment of the farm-made manure or compost can be done. If somebody interested, I will give the details afterwards. Next, please. Yeah. This is what we tell to the farmers. Don't expose organic manures which are enriched directly to the sun. whether bare soil and the hot sun, if you plow the soil without a crop, we lose 10% of the carbon. If you expose the organic manure to the hot sun in the summer, it is nothing but sawdust what we are going to apply to the field. Always keep 50% of the moisture in the organic compounds, then only the nutrients and microbes which are there in that, they will enhance the soil health and maintain the nutrient available to the crop. Next, please. Always cover that and see that it is not exposed to the sun. These are all simple technologies, but very useful. Next, please. So always make simple raised beds, 6 inch to 10 inch, depending on what type of soils are there, how much amount of rainfall is available. You can hire a tractors. Now lot of equipments are available. Within 2 hours, it will prepare for 1 acre of raised beds by paying 800 or 1000 rupees. Next, please. So scientific water management, which is also a very important aspect we have to touch, because water is number one. 190% and above the green fresh chilli in India is grown with irrigation, because there will be continuous picking and it is grown all the 3 seasons, unlike a rain-fed crop which is grown during only rainy season. There are different aspects in that. Only I want to touch is always in water management, good water management is whether drip irrigation or surface irrigation, always bring the soil to field capacity. That is where the maximum water is available. Whatever the water is lost, that only that much water we need to give. These are the scientific principles. These are a little technical. If somebody is interested, I can tell them also. Next, please. So these are the soil water holding capacity varies with different textures of the soil. Again, different textures. Which soils, where frequency is required. Generally, we say on heavy cotton soils, even 10 to 12 days one irrigation is good enough, whereas in red loamy soils or sandy loam soils of South Karnataka, every 5 to 6 days you need a irrigation for crop roots to not to undergo any soil moisture stress. Next, please. So this is how we have developed the technology, conserving moisture under rain-fed condition. You can go for polythene mulching, which avoids the weeds and also reduces the disease. It conserves the temperature to some extent, keep it cool. Always use reflective black mulch if you are interested in reducing the attack of the pests also. Yeah, I will be trying to complete. Next, please. Next, you can just go on showing this is one of the technologies for saving the water, which is very precious, is alternate furrow irrigation system. The principle is 40% of the any root system of the crops are able to take up whatever the water totally required. That concept is kept in mind. Next, please. Next. Yeah, this is drip irrigation. You can go on showing. Inline drippers are recommended. Next. Yeah, mulching. Then the crops, how it will be under drip. Barrier cropping is one of the important concepts. Always in crops, maintain barrier croppings or windrows, which reduce the impact of high hot winds blowing. It has got several advantages which I am not going to touch individually. Next, please. Next. Just you can see the crops. So we have shown that how the difference in the crop will be there with barrier cropping, mulching and without mulching. Next. Yeah, fertigation is one of the technologies for precise application. The concept is how, when and in what form you have to give. The fertigation is the technology for which. A simple technology with a venturi also with spending 5,000 and installation of drip system, economically viable, all these things. Next, please. Water harvesting is one of the important. This is from the polyhouse grown crops where water harvesting can be done. It can provide crop to, from the rainfall harvested with 600 mm, 180 days of irrigation you can provide. That is one complete crop cycle. Next, please. Yeah, this we have conducted. This is maybe the last slide I will discuss. I wanted to stress upon the importance of sustainability of the soil and soil health, for which we have conducted 15 years of organic farming trials in a fixed plot in about 1/4 of an hectare. And we have seen that integrated nutrient management and organic or best chemical farming is totally should be stopped. And next. Grafting is one of the answers. I think there will be separate VNR or experts in that. They will be discussing that. Next, please. Yeah, totally. After all this, if you want to maintain the quality, when you produce the quality produce, see that it reaches the consumer in the same form. Because unfortunately in India, any crop you take, 20 to 30% of the farmer's produce is lost before it is reaching the consumer. This point has to be kept in mind. That's where they will get the reduced price even in APMCs when you go commission agents. Even if they see 5% of half types in red chili, they will reject from 200 rupees a kilo, they bring it straight to 80 rupees a kilo. These points should be kept in mind. I have slightly run like a little faster train. Kindly only the points I have made, which are the points: integrated crop management strategies, integrated technologies developed should be fine-tuned and made recommended to the farmers in a feasible and economically viable technologies. Then only farmers will accept, otherwise no. This is where the concept of lab to land was introduced by SIUs and ICR institutes. Thank you for patient listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for nicely illustrating the several factors for increasing the resource use efficiency. Of course, the precision production technologies, you nicely told that the precision technologies, what the nowadays we are talking, or what the West has been followed, may not be suitable at present. And whatever the feasible things that we can do, the increasing the resource use efficiency itself is a precision farming technologies. Thank you very much, sir, for nicely elaborating all those principles. And I can maybe one or two questions if audience are having. I think you can take it now.
They're all very simple. I don't think if you have anything, you can discuss with me also. No problem.
Sir, may I ask one?
Yeah, please.
Sir, in most of the dry chili production areas, farmers are adopting polymulching. Polymulching is very common among mulching,
yeah.
very common. And so I just wanted to know from you, are there biodegradable, these mulches available, or it's causing?
Yes, we have done that. Biodegradable mulches are available, but they are not economically viable, very expensive. This ordinary 30 micron reflective mulch we recommend, it costs around 20 to 25,000 rupees per acre. Now farmers are taking 3 crops with 1 mulching. It avoids water saving, weed control, and it reduces especially the thrips incidence is reduced. This is what we have seen, and it is economically viable. Polyethylene mulching, drip irrigation, they are all feasible. Fertigation is also feasible. Don't go for costly water-soluble imported fertilizers. Simple, phosphorus need to be applied to the soil. Nitrogen and potash has to be given 25% basic. Remaining 75% you give in 10 to 12 till the crop is about 100 to 120 days old, using excellent common water-soluble fertilizers like urea, MOP and sulfate of potash. You change the MOP or sulfate of potash according to the soil pH. Saline soils go for sulfate of potash, and where the acidity is around 6.5, MOP is equally good. They are highly soluble and they are economically viable, and fertigation results in 15 to 20% of higher yield than soil applied nutrients. This we have conducted for more than 2 decades in different crops.
Okay, thank you, sir. As you told, sir, mulching is a wonderful technology, but at the same time, equally important grave concern is its disposal and its environmental impact. So we don't know the scientifically which side we have to take. The advantage is definitely marvelous for the farmers, but the disadvantage is also equally great. And till the biodegradability becomes feasible, I think this is a really tough nut to crack.
Dr. One clarification. See, many organic carbon content of the soil. I think looking at the expenses involved in application of FIM or even vermicompost, many of the farmers are supplementing with the biochar or charcoal powder. I just want to know whether it is really going to help us in enhancing the organic carbon of the soil.
See, my concept of simple technology is The organic components are just like Ayurveda medicines. They have no side effects. Organic sources, any amount you apply, no limit. I will tell you, the best farmers who are getting 80 tons of tomato per acre, they apply 4 truckloads of sheep manure per acre. See, it depends upon what sources. Organic farming, farmers should not venture unless they have 5 to 6 cattle of their own. FIME should not buy and try to go for organic farming. No.
No, sir.
Organic sources can be anything. Biochar, if you want to excellent, one of my classmates, Dr.
Sir.
V.C. Patil,
Sir,
is an expert.
I think you can discuss over. maybe
Yeah,
one
yeah,
time.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we will not.
So thank you very much, sir, for clarifying the doubts of the audience also. So next, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
much, sir.